I'm on the 7th Avenue stop here in Brooklyn, about to head into Manhattan for a little fun time in the big city. But, the subway systems in New York are absolutely amazing. But I remember the very, very first time I was in New York trying to figure them out, I was so confused and it was frightening. And I ended up asking a local, and they were great, very helpful to be able to point me where I wanted to go. But it just got me thinking, there are times when we're going to face something for the first time that's going to scare us. Just here's my advice for you. I don't care what it is you're trying to do for the first time, just remember two things. One, you're going to be better off for having tried it. And two, dumber people than you have figured it out. That's just my motto when I travel. Dumber people than me have figured it out. So let me just encourage you, try new things.
Hey, it's Jeff, working outside today. Thought I'd handle a couple of Ask Jeff questions that have come in. The first one from Rodriguez, and he asked the question, how do I prevent people from canceling after they buy? That buyer's remorse, how is that preventable? Well, of course, sometimes it's not. Things happen in people's lives that are going to alter their decision. But what we're talking about, of course, are those times when it's just a matter of, I got cold feet, or I thought twice about it, or whatever the case may be. And I think the most important thing that we can remember is that just because somebody said yes doesn't mean that they're fully sold. And this is particularly true with those big ticket purchases where there's a right of rescission or an opportunity to come back after the fact and say, no, I've decided against it. So I want to suggest to you that if you're in that situation, that you want to make sure that there's some selling that's done immediately after the sale that reinforces that. So don't get into the illusion that just because they said yes once means they're fully committed. And you could do this a couple of different ways. The first thing is when they say yes, make sure it's a celebration. Make sure that that's a really, really happy time, a moment, if you will, because it'll connect the customer into that positive emotion. And that's what they'll think back on. They'll remember what it felt like when they said yes. But then get them some reinforcement as quickly as you can, some value add after the fact that reminds them and that affirms that this is a really, really good decision. So a couple of things that might cut down on the buyer's remorse. Another question here that came in from Earl, a sales leader, sales executive, who says, how do I get my salespeople to care more about margin? Since I find that salespeople oftentimes, they want the sale as long as they get paid. Hey, it's a good deal. Well, listen, salespeople are capitalists. They want to get paid, and we pay them according to getting the sale, not so much how profitable we are. So there's some sense to that right from the very beginning. But I think on the deeper level, the question that I would ask is, how much are your salespeople involved in your sense of purpose, in your company's sense of purpose? Do they get it? Do they understand why we do what we do? Do they really feel bought in on that? And yes, there is that idea that the company needs to be profitable, that the company needs to be able to sustain and to thrive in order to employ people, in order to be able to provide those services. So there is that sense of purpose that a salesperson has to feel a part of. The more they feel bought into that sense of purpose, then the more willing they are to be able to support that bottom line. So for that reason, I'm a big fan of transparency. I'm a big fan of bringing the salesperson in to let them know the part that they played and the role that they play and how important it is that what they do and do well puts food on people's table. It's a matter of employing people. So take your salespeople through the corporate office, and when they're walking past that accounts payable department, remind them that that person gets to take their kids on vacation because of what it is that you do, and somebody else gets to support health care for their mother who's not doing well because of what you do. Get your salespeople involved in a greater sense of purpose for the entire organization.
All right, so Karen and I are actually in Brooklyn. We love to go to New York every now and then, usually about once a year, but this time we decided we'd stay in Brooklyn and check it out. I'm at the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens right now. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'll tell you what, in the busyness and everything that goes on in New York City, it's a busy place, right? There's a lot of action. It's nice to be able to step away for a quick little respite. I just want to encourage you to do the same, even little tiny respites. Maybe you don't have a botanical garden to be able to run out to on a break, but those little breaks make a huge difference. It's been a really fun time, but it's been a hectic time. So to be able to step away to a little solitude is always a good idea. Take a little mental break, it's good for you.